straight. You're against the war, but yet you fund the war. And Congress has the power to curse, and you saying Congress doesn't have this. It doesn't matter if you guys go against the budget. So I wanted for you to defend your platform on that, your argument. Another thing is, if Congress was impotent, well, I'll look at former Senator Mike Gravel. He ended a draft in 5 months because he filibustered. And here you are, approving budgets to keep funding the war.
You didn't say yes or no. You didn't even answer the question.
You don't even know where the money's going. It's the government accounting office.
Well, the way, what I did know, and I've been pretty upfront about this, is that it's possible for the administration to have used, there's a large defense budget, and they can use those dollars that go towards other services, a whole host of things, to fund the war. But I also have real difficulty, and I don't know if anybody in the room wouldn't have difficulty, in saying to the moms and dads and spouses that you wouldn't, that you can't fund equipment or services for them.
Now, how many people in this room right now want to stop funding the war?
That's the way we gotta be.
Listen to your constituents.
This is a democracy. We need to listen to the people. We don't need to have long answers, just yes or no.
I wish it was absolutely that.
People look back on this history with shame. The degradation of a people who would put that many lives at risk in the bombing and the wiping out of communities. I want to ask you, will you stop funding the war?
What's difficult is that when you work with people in Iraq and have a chance to meet with them, as horrible as the war is and how many people they have lost, they still pray and hope for a good outcome, as we do.
But I understand why you continue to vote to fund the war, because you yourself receive over $100,000 in defense contracts. So, war bills that it was you voting to fund wars. You voted to fund over $100 billion, which over less than 10% actually goes to the soldiers and our supplies.
I can say pretty unequivocally, it absolutely has no influence on me at all.
Oh my God.
What I can tell you is that it does have an influence.
If it doesn't influence you, why are you taking it?
Is going to Iraq and being on planes with our soldiers, talking to moms, talking to spouses, talking to people who are really connected to it. And we certainly have plenty of parents I know who are very want us to stop the war as well. And I understand that, and I want to stop the war as much as they do. But I do have an opportunity to talk to so many of them, and a lot of people who do think that that's something that we need to do, but we need to work very hard on getting our troops out of there, and I'll continue to do that. I didn't take on the personnel committee because I'm interested in the issue that you raised. I took on the personnel committee because my background means that I work very, very hard on the issues that really affect them personally.
I hope they don't influence your
And I really don't pay any attention to that. I really don't. There are companies here in San Diego that support members and that work with us, but that's never been. There are a lot of people who I think would believe that because they just seem the way that I've worked. I mean, you don't stay in this job for that reason.
It's free.
I don't give up feeling for that reason.
Someone brought up the fact that Susan Davis gets a lot of her campaign funding from the defense sector. Do you know anything about this?
Yes, in fact, this is an area of great concern, and voters across the 53rd District are waking up, smelling coffee, and they're studying, they're looking up the FEC records. Where does Susan Davis get her campaign funding from? And it's not from individuals, it's not from the grassroots, it's not $5 here or there. It's thousands and thousands of dollars from the weapons, surveillance, and torture industry. Over $169,000 in PAC money. And that comes from Washington, D.C., from Falls Church, Virginia. And if you look at Representative Davis's voting record, she's consistently voted yes on the enormous spending bills that in turn directly benefit companies in the weapons, surveillance, and torture industry. I'm talking about Titan Corporation, who provides what they call interrogators. Literally, they train people in the art of torture. All you need to do is Google Jeannie Crescenzo in Jordan to find out more about that. Susan Davis has taken over $5,000 in one haul from Titan Corp, who was brought up on charges related to torture at Abu Ghraib in 2004. Money from the vice president of Titan Corporation, Thomas Trimble. This is an awfully cozy relationship between what Eisenhower warned us about, the military-industrial complex and the halls of power. There's an enormous conflict. If Susan doesn't vote yes to keep the war funding open, which benefits the weapons, surveillance, and torture sector, there won't be money that comes back into her campaign coffers. You could call it a kickback if you wanted. Have you ever gotten a glossy purple mailer from the Davis campaign? It cost a lot of money to print and mail. That's paid for, in part, by money from the weapons, surveillance, and torture industry. And in turn, Representative Davis's votes to fund the war seem to always be yes. This is a cycle of death. This is recycling the death dollar. It must stop. 4,000 have died.